Welcome! This is week 4 of Bad Album Month here on Minidisc Monday, and it's edition 32 of this series. We've only got one more bad album, or in my opinion bad album, to look at in this mini-series that's coming in 7 days time. So which one is the 4th bad album of March? You've seen from the title and the thumbnail that it's the 7th studio album by Mariah Carey. This is Rainbow. Yeah, 7 albums from Mariah Carey already at this point. I didn't think she'd released quite that many, seeing as how she'd only really been an established artist since I think 1990 or something like that, but her now ex-husband at Sony Music would have kept her busy, obviously. This was a follow-up to her 97 album Butterfly, and that one and this one sort of formed like a kind of coming out party for Mariah as she shifted musical styles to some extent from the constant balladeering and overly earnest, overly produced AOR to more urban hip-hop and R&B sounds on Butterfly and this. I don't own Butterfly. I did like the single Honey from that. There's really only one single off here, one song that I really rate. We'll get onto it. I'll talk about the tracks in a little bit. But first, to look at the physical mini disc and its packaging itself. So this case has seen better days. A couple of big cracks at the front. It is on its hinges, but it does come off pretty easily, so that's just not a very good case here. The disc, we've got Mariah on the front there, the album artwork, and on the back, track listing, some legal stuff. The insert, it's got this really cringe-worthy sort of note from Mariah here. I'll read it out to you, might as well. In a perfect world, human beings would coexist harmoniously like a rainbow, a multitude of colours, each layer vibrant and clear by itself, but in unison, boundless, breathtaking, celestial. And then we've got a facsimile of Mariah Carey's signature there, and then she also says, this album chronicles my emotional roller coaster ride of the past year. If you listen closely, there's a story here with a very happy ending. After every storm, if you look hard enough, a rainbow appears. Okay then. So yeah, she's celebrating her freedom from what was apparently a rather restrictive marriage to Tommy Mottola, I think his name was, the head, or at least head at the time, of Sony Music. The booklet, it's nice enough quality, got a provocative image of Ms. Carey there, all the lyrics for all the songs, and that's about it really. What of the album itself? Well, I did allude to earlier that one track on here, which was the lead single and is the opening track on the album, I've always liked. I thought it was a really good song, to be fair, and that is of course Heartbreaker, which features Jay-Z. Kicks off the album, just a really good light hip-hop verging into R&B track that the sample they've used is just really good. You know, it's off to a flyer really, this album. However, as you would probably expect, at least with my musical tastes, it doesn't keep up the good work that long, because the next track, track 2, is Can't Take That Away, Mariah's theme, and she goes back into her more familiar, overly earnest balladeer territory now. Track 3 is Bliss, which would have been a bit better for me had there not been these sort of really irritating vocal exercises that were obviously Mariah providing her own backing vocals. You could sort of hear them throughout the track. It just grated, to be fair. Track 4 is How Much. It reminded me a little bit of TLC, this, and there was another sample in it that sounded familiar and I couldn't quite place it, so when I looked it up I realised that it was sampling Machiavelli, aka Tupac Shakur's Me and My Girlfriend. That wasn't too bad, the sample was good, it was better than the previous couple of tracks, but still it's not particularly high quality. Even though I'm a Tupac fan, it was not really doing that any justice. Track number 5, After Tonight, and track 6, X Girlfriend, X just being the letter X, because Mariah is all street now, remember? Now that she's a single girl again. Track 7 is a remix of Heartbreaker. It doesn't feature Jay-Z, it features some other artists. I can't say who they all are, but I certainly noticed Missy Elliott was providing a guest rap on one of them. As much as I love the normal Heartbreaker, the Jay-Z version, the remix doesn't do a lot for me. It's fine, it's still one of the better tracks on this album, but it's not as good as the previous, the proper Heartbreaker, by any stretch. Track 8 is an interlude, Vulnerability, and what I can say in its favour is, unlike a lot of interludes that you get on albums, particularly rap and R&B albums, it's not a spoken word one. I mean, basically it's kind of an unfinished song, as it lasts for 1 minute 12, but at least it's not Mariah kind of talking or giving us some sort of pep talk or doing some sort of cringe-worthy skit, so grateful for small mercies, to be honest. Number 9, oh dear. Now this got to number 1 in the UK, Against All Odds, Take a Look at Me Now. It's Mariah's cover of the Phil Collins song, and probably Phil Collins' worst single in my opinion. The good news is, there again, there is an upside, because she hit number 1 with a version featuring Westlife here in the UK, but this album version, the Rainbow version, doesn't feature Westlife, so it's got that in its favour, but even so, awful, horrible cover. Didn't enjoy that whatsoever. Track 10, Cry Baby. Track 11, Did I Do That? It's all sort of trying to establish a fine line between soppy romance and fairly kind of sedate, yet with a little bit of an edge, R&B really at this point. Track 12 is Petals. We've got another interlude, and it's, I suppose, the title track really, even though it's not a full track. It's only 1 minute 32, but that is Rainbow. And then the end song, the last on the album, is Thank God I Found You, which was another single taken from the album. It's another Mariah style ballad where she's exercising all her vocal range, her famous 5 octaves or whatever it is, but it's got a kind of slightly slowed down hip hop beat behind it. It was probably one of the better tracks on the album again, but not one that I massively enjoyed. So overall, Rainbow by Mariah Carey, I can't recommend it. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it any more this time than I did when I first heard it many years ago. Don't know how much I paid for it back in the day. Don't think it was massively expensive. Mariah Carey with Rainbow is your bad album for today. So thank you all for watching, and special thanks go, as always, to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. There's only one more bad album to go this month on Minidisc Monday, and if I say so myself, I think I may, although I will listen to it again and decide for certain, but I think I may have saved the worst till last. So if you want to know what that is and see my thoughts on it, then please join me again in just 7 days time for the final bad album this month on Minidisc Monday. Cheers everyone. See ya!